Two scientists lead a team of explorers on an expedition where they find a clue to the origins of mankind. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Alien franchise review series. Today we're looking at Prometheus, released in 2012 and directed by Ridley Scott. So Prometheus, I knew nothing about when I was walking into it. I just knew that it wasn't called Alien, and it's in the Alien franchise, so I thought that was kind of weird. It definitely looked a lot more sci-fi-ish from the poster I seen and from the little snippets that I have seen in the past, but I really didn't know what to expect other than that. It surprised me when I heard that Ridley Scott came back to direct this one. I was not expecting that. After watching the film, it definitely had some aspects of his attributes and filming style, but it definitely felt a lot different at the same time from his filming style, and I don't know if it really worked out for me. This film made me feel like Ridley Scott kind of had a new image. He didn't want to do the same movie that he already did in 1979, and that really shows, and I can respect that idea. I think he kind of just took this over and made the movie that he wanted to make. He went on a different path and he had a vision for it, and I can respect that he definitely executed his vision the way that he wanted to, but the super sci-fi ultra like extra stuff that he put into this movie, it's just the type of stuff that is not really made for me. I can understand why sci-fi fans would really like this movie, possibly love this movie, but it was definitely not a movie that was made for me. So that being said, we'll get into what I did like about Prometheus. One thing I did like is the effects are very good in this movie. And I don't know, I'm sure some of it was practical, but even the CGI, it was really good CGI and it wasn't distracting. So I will give them that. It was very great world building within that. The sci-fi feel of the movie was definitely up front and just really great world building. You completely believed that these people were somewhere else and not here. I thought that was executed really well. The creature designs were pretty cool. You had these little like worm snake things that were ended up being super strong, and I thought that sequence looked really cool. Then you have the characters. Although I didn't completely love the characters, I didn't think they were bad at all. They were easy to follow. All great acting. I'm not sure I can name the actors right off the top of my head, but they all gave pretty good performances. Nothing to complain about in the acting department or the characters department. I thought they were all pretty good characters and they were reasonably fun to watch. Unfortunately, those really are the only things that I can put into what I did like. So let's get into what I didn't really like. So I'm not a huge sci-fi movie fan. Star Wars is about the extent that I've went, and even those I find super boring in a lot of parts. Although I do like most of the movies, the sci-fi genre is just not my favorite type. I think the early movies in this franchise, like Alien and Aliens, it's definitely has more of an action and horror slasher aspect to them that is directed more towards me and the horror fan in me. Once you get later into this series, and especially Prometheus, that really like takes it overboard, and you get really into the sci-fi aspect of this franchise, it's not really for me. It's never been one of my favorite genres, and this movie is like full on sci-fi. And I just found it kind of a slow burn to get through. This movie actually took me quite a few days to finish because every time I would start it, I would just be like, man, I just do not want to watch this. I want to watch something else. I want to watch a slasher or a western or something like that. And so it took me a few days to finish. And I just found myself not wanting to watch it whenever I was sitting down to watch it. There were aspects of it that I did like, and there were certain scenes that I enjoyed. It was just such a slow burn for me. So that was a really big hit. And when a movie bores me, that's like the greatest sin for me that a movie can do. If I'm bored during a movie, I will just turn it off and play something else. And I probably sound like average horror doofus, but the fact that there aren't really aliens in this movie kind of bothered me. You don't get the classic aliens that are in all the previous movies. It's something completely different. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I completely understood the movie because it kind of confused me, the whole thing. Probably because I didn't watch it in one sitting. But I didn't really understand the story as much as I think I should have. I didn't catch on to all of the depth story, because I see people talk about this. This is like one of the most talked about movies in the horror genre, or in the sci-fi genres, I should say. There are people that do really big deep dives into this movie, talking about it and talking about all the different stories. And watching it, I just couldn't catch on to all of those. So the classic alien aspect in all of the previous movies was not in this one, and it did kind of bother me. I wanted to see some alien action. I wanted to see some kills and just aliens slashing and shooting and stuff like that. And I didn't get it, which I understand it's not that type of movie, but for me, that's a downgrade. So overall, I'm going to give Prometheus a 3 stars. I thought it was a pretty average movie, and maybe upon rewatch, I will enjoy it more. I just know for a fact that I'm not going to be pulled to rewatch this movie at all. But I wouldn't feel right giving it a 2 stars, because I think overall it is a pretty good movie. It's just not a movie made for me. So I'll give it the 3 stars for the great world building, the great CGI effects, practical effects. The characters weren't bad at all. For those aspects, I think it at least deserves a 3 stars for me. The downgrade of the 2 stars for me, the downgrade aspect of it is that there's no alien. It was super slow for me. And just the whole super sci-fi aspect of it just does not work for me. So that's the only downgrades of this movie. I think 3 stars is fair for my opinion. So let me know what you guys think of Prometheus. Am I way wrong on this? Is this one of your favorite movies? Or are you guys kind of sitting in the same boat as I am? Let me know down in the comments. We can have a conversation about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.